Hello, welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole, and today we are talking about Arcane episodes 7 to 9. I have just finished it, and wow, what an ending. I mean, that screams cliffhanger, and we see you in season 2 as much as it can. Quick note, I will not draw any comparisons to League of Legends, even though I have been a League of Legends player for over 10 years. I know the characters, I know the lore pretty much in and out. But I will not connect this because a lot of people who are watching the Netflix show do not necessarily play League of Legends or have ever heard of the characters, and there would be a lot of spoilers, right? Like, I know where most of the characters are going and what they basically have to become the characters they are now in League of Legends, right? But a lot of people who have never played League of Legends, that would be super spoiler territory, so we will not go there. So if you have never played League of Legends and you're like, should I watch this? Maybe he's telling me what happens with the characters. No, I will not do that. So you don't have to be afraid of that. But man, a lot of stuff still happened in the 3 episodes. And as I said, season 2, like, it's super successful. It ends on a cliffhanger. Chances are very, very high that we will see another season 2, and it end on a pretty bad note. So we will see what happens next. But interestingly enough, characters have been quite developed. Like, even some side characters now got a little bit more spotlight. Very interesting. One of the new additions to the series was Echo, which we have seen in the show as this hoverboard driving vigilante with the mask on, and he was revealing himself as Echo, as one of the kids, and how he has basically built a little nation inside of the Undercity / Zone, where people have hope, where people are working together, and where it's not just coming down to how can I punish you, how can I hurt you, how can I do things which are not on the side of the law, where they really just try to survive and help each other. But he is also a relatively bitter character who is not believing in Piltover. He doesn't believe in the people there because he just knows that he never got the help and he got left alone. And later on, and this is rather interesting, he will meet Heimerdinger. You can, by the way, see here right now in the picture. And Heimerdinger, after he got betrayed and ousted from the council, he finally did something which I think this character really needed. He finally started to go to Zone / Undercity and start to look at the things how they are. That was one of the biggest problems, like the Heimerdinger at the beginning, or Heimerdinger at the beginning of the show had, that yes, he was a brilliant scientist, and well, he was missing empathy though. Yes, he cared for the people which were close to him, but he never really gave a damn about what happened in Zorn. And he finally took a look at Zorn and was like, okay, what's going on in that city? What's going on here with a part of our city? And he saw the dark side of it. And he finally starts to care, and then he meets Echo, and he listens to him. Because before that, he basically always disregarded Zorn. Like, he's like, those people of Zorn, they mean problems. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Like, I think this was the major lesson for a lot of the characters in the show, that a lot of the problems could have been solved if people wouldn't have looked away. Like, a lot of the stuff which is happening in Zorn now, and which led to the end of season 1, was avoidable if people would have cared. And not just, oh yeah, it's the Undercity. It's like where all the crime happens. Better not look at it, right? So Heimerdinger made some changes and met Echo. I'm kind of curious to see where that whole relationship goes. Caitlyn, she became a bit of a side character by the end of it. Like, she didn't really change that much. She stayed, like, very much like the detective who wants to fight crime and who wants to, well, just abide the law, you know. And she didn't really change too much. Jace changed quite a bit from when you were looking back to all the episodes. Like, at the beginning he was just a scientist, right? Then he became like a council member, like he delved into politics. And then at around episode 8, he had enough, but he was also influenced to a certain degree, and then he became a vigilante. And he started to fight people in the Undercity. He started to fight the bad guys, and he killed a kid, which very much did shake his conviction that maybe force is not an option here, and that he has to, like, try to get peace with Zaun and make Zaun its own nation. And the only thing he basically requested for that was Jinx. And Silco, he was considering it, I think. He was actually considering to sell Jinx, and, well, that was the end of him. Like, he then died because of that, because Jinx completely descended into madness. And I have to admit, I didn't saw that coming. When you met Jinx, formerly Powder, in episode, what is it, 4, 5, and 6, yeah, she was already a tad crazy. She was a tad crazy, but she just completely descended into madness. And if there was any doubt that Powder is now completely gone, that doubt should be also gone. Like, it's really just Jinx at this point, and she just wants to hurt people. Like, at this point, she really doesn't give a damn anymore. She just wants to hurt people. And, ooh, I feel sorry for her. Like, she is really a dramatic character, because she doesn't deserve that. She totally doesn't deserve what happened to her, and the descent to madness, which sucks so much. But she's now completely gone, and she is just chaotic evil at this point. Which brings us to Vi. Vi itself hasn't really changed that much either. Like, Caitlyn and Vi stayed pretty much consistent in their growth. Yeah, sure, Vi finally got her gauntlets and started to smash things, because that's what she's good at. But she didn't really change too much, really. Yeah, she wasn't too big of a factor. Also rather interesting that Noxus is now part of the story, and that Noxus is now there, and they're very much interested in the weaponized hex tech, which makes sense. Noxus is a very aggressive country. I mean, they have showcased that very clearly in the series, that Noxus is not necessarily the country where you cuddle a lot, to say the least. And they are, of course, interested in weaponized hex tech, and we will see how that plays out at some point. Victor, oh boy, Victor, poor Victor, man. It's kind of ironic that he said earlier, I think it was in episode 7, where he said there's always a choice, right? And, well, he clearly made the wrong one, and now he is on this path of no return, and he is, well, getting corrupted by the Hextech core more and more, and is descending into whatever he is becoming, like half machine, half human, or whatever that is, what is growing in his feet and his hand. It looks very much like machine. It sounds metal, but it's like hex tech in the body. And he couldn't destroy the hex tech core. And he even asked Jace to do it. So yeah, he was still a side character, right? But I can already foresee that in season 2, he will probably become something bigger. Now, here's the thing. So they also introduced the Doctor more, right? Who basically invented Shimmer, and who basically like saved Jinx and did some other things. And I'm not sure if they ever mentioned his name. I don't think so. Look, I'm bad with names. That's the reality of things. But I don't think that they mentioned his name. I know his name because he's a League of Legends character. And so I know who that is. But I don't think they have mentioned it in the show. So I would just refer to him as Doctor. Because, again, no League of Legends spoilers here. And yeah, that Doctor is experimenting, and at the end we also saw a little bit like how he was experimenting at something monstrous. Like there was a super quick shot where you could see some claws and some fur, and he was experimenting with something there. Again, I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I will not tell you because League of Legends spoilers. But yeah, that doesn't really bode well. And well, it seems like that in season 2, Arcane will, I don't know what will happen next, probably descend into a war? Like, keep in mind, I'm just assuming here. I don't know if Piltover and Zorn would just have a war, because if the Council doesn't survive this, I don't know what will happen next. But I'm pretty sure it won't be Pete's. So yeah, I have no clue what will happen next. I have absolutely no clue, but it doesn't look good. And the last thing I want to say before we are wrapping this up here, the show was amazing. I didn't expect much. Like, don't get me wrong, Netflix has a pretty good track record with making shows out of video games, right? But League of Legends, like, let's say the game is relatively kids friendly, right? It's definitely not dark. There's definitely no drugs or even like adult themed content in League of Legends in any shape or form. So I wasn't expecting that in the show. Like, I was expecting a very Disney friendly show coming up here and not this, right? And it's just amazing what they created here. Like, the animations have been top, like, so good. Like, even the fighting animations are really, really good. The sound is fantastic. The music, the VA is just outstanding. And so far, everything I've been seeing here just makes sense and feels thought out. Like, they bring back some characters, they mention some characters, let them vanish, then they're coming back later as something else. And there's like a lot of stuff going on. And it's just, I think Arcane is one of the best shows this year. Like, I know I'm not necessarily the dude who is watching a lot of TV shows. Like, I'm more into gaming than actually watching shows. But there's so much quality here. And I'm really looking forward to season 2. Especially, I'm also curious what will happen to the characters. And interestingly enough, I'm also interested to see some of the side characters, what will actually happen to them. Because As I said before, I have been playing League of Legends for over 10 years, so I know what will happen to Jinx. I know what will happen to Vi, to Caitlyn, and all that, right? It's a bit like watching Star Wars. Like when you are starting out with episode 1 to 3 and you have never watched Star Wars, then you will have a lot of surprises coming your way. But when you are somebody who started actually with episode 4, 5, and 6, and then did go back to 1, 2, and 3 because that's how they got released, then you expect a lot. But even with that said, there's a lot of moments where I'm like, oh shit, oh wow, I didn't expect that character to show up, or whoa, I didn't expect this to happen. Like, it is super interesting. And that they actually can keep this momentum going, like even for people who have been playing League of Legends, and for people who didn't play it, is something which is very extraordinary. And I cannot wait for Season 2, whenever that will be. Probably, if we are lucky, next year. But I will be honest, I don't expect it till 2023. Which sucks. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how the rest is faring. With that said, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like. And well, if you didn't like this video, the dislike button is right next to it. If you're new to the channel and you want to support me further, I would appreciate if you might leave a subscription. Don't forget to click the bell icon, because if you don't do that, then well, you will not get notified when the next video is going live. We are also doing gaming news here, tips and tricks for new games, and I'm doing also a good amount of reaction videos to basically every gaming event coming up. Quick note, I might do another video where I talk a little bit about the League of Legends influence on Arcane, and I might, no promises here, but I might do a video about Cowboy Bebop, the live action series. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, I might do that. So with that said, thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.